Welcome back to A Book for My Sister podcast, where we are just two sisters hanging out and talking about books. My name's Cassie.
And my name's Amelia.
And we have a lot of book thoughts, so thank you for joining us today, and we hope you follow along our reading journey by subscribing to our podcast and leaving us some comments on what you're reading right now. Amelia, what are you drinking right now to get through this episode?
Well, Cassie, I'm so glad that you asked. Today, I have a s'mores latte.
Fabulous.
I'm going to tell you all my recipe right now so you don't even have to Google. You have to give anything a goog. What I did was I made my own toasted marshmallow syrup, and I just mixed 1 cup of water. You could do 1 cup of sugar. I did less than that because that's a lot of sugar. And then you toast 10 marshmallows, 8 to 10 marshmallows, depending on the size. And then you melt them down in your syrup, and you have toasted marshmallow syrup. And then you brew your coffee over it. You put some chocolate and some cinnamon in there. I made a little toasted marshmallow cold foam. You don't have to do that. And just for aesthetic purposes, I also put some marshmallow fluff on the side of my cup. And
wow.
It's quite delicious.
Did you take a picture?
I did take a picture.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna share it on the gram. So
okay, yeah.
Highly recommend everybody if you want a little bit more of a decadent situation. S'mores latte. You can make all this at home by yourself. So highly recommend. It's very good. What are you drinking right now, Cassie?
Well, I did get a coffee from a local coffee shop. It is it was a burnt brown sugar latte. So like caramelized brown sugar, basically.
Yum.
And it is fab, but I
really
put
good.
it in the fridge because I wanted to save it for
melt?
now. But then I had a sweet oatmeal for breakfast, and I was like, I do not want this coffee right now. So it's still waiting in the fridge for me. I'll probably have it on my afternoon walk. So now,
That's a good idea.
I am drinking some strawberry lemonade electrolytes.
Oh, okay. Well, that sounds
long
good too.
yoga class, sweat it all out. Gotta replenish those electrolytes.
I was drinking, I guess it's basically an Arnold Palmer electrolyte mix in my water earlier because I went to a cycling class with my friend. The Element one.
Yeah, Mama gave me some of those.
It's pretty good. It's kind of weird. The tea part of it is kind of strange because it's like, it's a little bit fake tasting, but it was fine. I was sweating a lot, so, did
I
the
love
job.
a spin class. How long was it? 45 minutes?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, I can't imagine spinning for longer than that.
Oh my God, no. But it wasn't as hard as the first time I did it. The first time I did it, I thought I was having a heart attack. I was oh my God, I'm dying. As you go. But this time I was like, oh, this is actually not so bad. It was pretty fun. Sometimes they tell you to do things though, and I'm like, girl, I don't know what that means. And what you're doing looks to me like you're not doing anything different than what we were doing before, but you're using a different word. Like she was saying, now we're gonna tap, but then it was like she was just bouncing, and I was like, well, I don't know what that means. And I would look around, and everyone else was also and everyone else was also doing that. And I was like, well, what is it that y'all are doing?
Like a mechanical bull.
Yeah, exactly.
Would that have helped you?
Probably. If she had said, bounce on it like a mechanical bull, I probably would have been like, I got you. Yeah, it was just the wording, the tap. It was too simple.
That's fair.
Man. Anywho, speaking of making your own coffee and coffee syrup and oatmeal at home. Oatmeal. Today, we are talking about Tradwives, people. Excited. We are We're going to do just a little overview of what a tradwife is in case you're living under a rock, which, you know what, if you don't know what a tradwife is, I'm happy for you, and I'm sad that you're about to learn. But this is what we're going to do. Just so we're all on the same playing field here. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about some books that I've read recently because the tradwife trend has extended out into the literary universe, and now we've got some tradwife books. So we're going to talk about those. And then we're just going to have a little social media talk at the end to kind of connect, the tradwife trend idea to a couple other trends that we're seeing that are disturbing us, and we want to talk about it. So we've got some book talk. book talking, not like book talk. Got some book talking. We've got some larger ramification talking. So buckle down, grab you a coffee or tea or an electrolyte drink, and, get ready to hear about Tradwives people.
All right, everybody. So what is a tradwife? Well, let's go back to 2020.
I don't want to.
You may remember. I don't want to. Please don't make me. You may remember all the folks baking their own sourdough, including our mother. And now that's my favorite thing.
It's very good.
It's so yummy. And I get it every other week. It's fabulous. So yeah, making their own sourdough and leaning into the cottagecore aesthetic and lifestyle that involves frolicking in fields, making things from scratch, and wearing those classy milkmaid dresses. The slow, soft life became very appealing because all of a sudden people did not have anything to do, and they had plenty of time to discover hobbies and discover what it's like to live when you don't have to work a 9-to-5 or go to school or do both like some of us. And yeah, plenty of people still had to work very, very hard during 2020. Hashtag don't forget. But a good amount of people were discovering this new way of life. People suddenly started to realize that capitalism is actually killing us. Took us long enough. I mean, my goodness.
So. My God.
And with this stress and uncertainty during COVID-19 and what it meant to get this virus, blossomed the MAHA movement. Make America healthy again. Have you seen that SNL skit of the MAHA hospital?
No.
Genuinely so fucking funny, Amelia.
Oh, God.
They're like, oh my God, he's crashing. He's like, get the crystals. And they're just like waving crystals over his body. And it's like, there's like a sick child. And they're like, well, has he eaten any raw milk? And they're like, yes, I think that's the problem. He's like, well, he hasn't eaten enough.
Give him some more.
It's like crazy.
Inject that straight into his vein.
Yeah. So the MAHA movement, thinking that if you ate a certain way, took care of yourself a certain way, you would either not get sick or would not get as sick as others. And that's all you had to do. If you make your own bread and butter, you drink your raw milk, you opt out of the classic healthcare system and vaccines, stay at home, be it stay at home girly, not stay at home, because these people did not want to stay at home.
Be a stay at home, be a little stay at home girly.
Yeah, you could prevent yourself from getting seriously sick.
Order.
Yeah, because they didn't want to do that. So as the COVID restrictions lifted and the vaccine came out, and people began to act like the virus didn't exist anymore, which it still does today. This brand of thinking, unfortunately, did not leave us in the same way. Instead, the people who felt that they were awakened by this thinking felt like their eyes had suddenly been opened to a new way of life. They began to question vaccines even further and use their online platforms to push all the things I mentioned before and more. This is why we have measles again. Lots of women.
This is why we don't have the herd immunity against measles now.
Yes.
Y'all want measles? I guess you do.
They do. Lots of women became influencers by acting as the stay-at-home mom, wife, girlfriend, whatever, encouraging other women to get off birth control and quit their fast-paced jobs, settle down, and let your man treat you to the soft life. It's not that hard to run an entire farm while having 9 children if you really think about it. Oh my God, that sounds like a nightmare.
Doesn't that sound like hell? Sounds like hell.
Yeah.
So these types of influencers have been called tradwives, aka traditional wife. Really complicated, I know. They stay at home, have a baby every other year, and try to convince you that this is the life we should all be leading as 21st century women. One of these women in particular, and I would say the most famous tradwife influencer of all, you've probably heard of her even if you're not really sure what a tradwife is, goes by Ballerina Farm, aka Hannah Nealman. Hannah has just had her 9th child like a month or 2 ago. She runs a farm with her husband, who is the heir to the JetBlue fortune, the airline.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they're mega millionaires. She makes everything from scratch, and she sells expensive kitchen and homewares on her website. And up until recently, she also sold raw milk until they had to take it down because it was making people sick. Whoops!
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie. And listen, I have even leaned into this cottagecore aesthetic from time to time. Haven't we all? In 2020, you know what? I was watching Tiger King and I was looking for a milkmaid dress on Depop, all right? I do own like 2 milkmaid dresses and I love them. I still wear them. They're cute, okay?
They're very cute.
They're super cute. I make lots of things from scratch at home, which part of that is just like when you're broke-ish and you have a lot of food allergies and sensitivities, sometimes you just have to make everything from home. So I do that. I mend my clothes, my partner's clothes, and I try to calm down my nervous system by engaging in the soft farm life and playing some Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing. We've all engaged in this from time to time.
Yes.
And I think that something that can differentiate cottagecore versus tradwifery, depending on like who's using the aesthetic of cottagecore and what their views are, is that cottagecore has an aspect of like anti-capitalism, community-based sort of thinking, while the tradwife lifestyle is primarily a brand that women use on social media to make money, which is obviously inherently capitalistic if you're doing something to make money. I mean, we all do things to make money because we have to. You know, we live in a society. This is how you have to live. So we all do that. But there is sort of that I think like a key difference there. Some people are just in the cottagecore for the vibes, and some people are for the vibes plus anti-capitalism, and it just sort of depends on the person. And of course, can there ever really be a new aesthetic ever again without capitalism selling it to you via clothing and homewares and tools? Probably not. Aesthetics, trends are just facets of capitalism, you guys. They want to sell us everything. They want to sell us our lives, people. And I'm a sucker, and I'll take the bait. And this is where I want to make an observation that hasn't made before. I'm not the first person to make this observation about the tradwives that we see online. Ballerina Farm, Nara Smith, who is sort of satirical. She's kind of like satirical tradwife.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Because she's, you know, dressed up in her ball gowns and making cough drops from scratch or whatever.
My children wanted cereal, so I went outside and I picked my wheat and I banged it into flour. Yeah, that kind of thing. Like, no one's actually doing that.
And she's wearing like huge dresses when she's.
And she's fabulous. What kind of, she's gorgeous.
Nara Smith, I can't say that many terrible things about her.
She's gorgeous.
I mean, there was that one weird video. Was that her or was that Ballerina Farm? It doesn't matter. There are some weird things about Nara Smith for sure with her husband, and Ballerina Farm with her husband.
Yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
And so Ballerina Farm, Nara Smith, and other women who adopt this label are making money online. They are promoting a lifestyle that keeps women at home and out of the workforce, having babies, while these women are making content for money and being breadwinners for their families. They have nannies and housekeepers and assistants and farm hands, and it is beneficial for them to push the narrative that women are soft and should be having babies and cooking and doing housework, because they're making money off of this, while you, viewer at home, would presumably not be making any money off of this if you actually quit your job and assumed this lifestyle. And if you are partnered with someone who is going to work, that person would suddenly be making all of the money, which would probably put me in a precarious financial situation. And also then all of your eggs are in one basket. And that's pretty spooky. You don't want that. Spooky. Keep your bank accounts separate, people. I also want to address, since it comes up in one of these books that I read, that apparently some people believe the lie. I'm not trying to look down on anybody who is gullible. But I do want to say this. Apparently some people believe the lie that these influencers don't have any help at home behind the scenes. And I just want to say, if you believe what these ladies are feeding you and telling you they don't have help, then I really need you to go outside. Go let the sun touch the top of your head. Go run your fingers down some grass. And go look at a picture of a fully functioning farm and tell me that you think it is possible for one wife and one husband to do every single task associated with a large farm that sells a variety of goods while caring for 9 children.
Aren't they like homeschooled?
Yeah, they're homeschooled.
Yeah, okay, right. So
do you think that 2 individual people can do that without help?
There's not enough time in the day.
There's not enough of anything for 2 people to be able to do that. So maybe if you think that, you need to go get off the internet for a little bit, go read a book and develop some media literacy, and then you can get back online, okay? You can't believe that everything that everyone tells you on the internet, and you cannot let these tradwives make you feel like you're behind in your life. These ladies have millions of dollars. They have oodles of help. And unless you're part of the 1% of the country that has that, then you probably don't have that. You probably don't, unless you literally have millions of dollars. And I don't think you have that much help. Yeah, congratulations. Now
That's
stop
sick.
listening to the
Hell
podcast. So, don't let them make you feel like shit about your life or, what you make for your kids. If you have to feed your kids cereal that you bought at the store, like most people, that's fine. You're feeding them. So don't let these tradwives make you feel bad. So anyway, now we've given a little background on what tradwives are. Let's get into these 2 books, guys. So the first book that I read is called Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke. And if you're online, you've probably heard of this book. It just came out, I think, in March or April, maybe even May. I don't know. Just came out recently. And you may even be familiar with the author. She has a podcast called Diabolical Lies. I know I'm familiar with her podcast. So it's pretty good. Recently, I haven't been listening as much because I have some qualms with them. But she's a podcaster. Pretty well-known new book that just came out. So this book is from the perspective of our main character. Her name is Natalie Heller Mills. The author says she did not base the character on Hannah Nealman. A lot of people are inferring that it's Hannah Nealman. I think she's just supposed to be a really famous tradwife influencer. So that's kind of the connection people are drawing. And she has a lot of kids, in the book. And so does Hannah Nealman. She's got 9. So she's sort of Hannah Nealman-esque. She's a hugely popular tradwife influencer on her farm Yesteryear. And one morning she wakes up in the year 1855 and realizes that she's going to have to actually really try to live in the yesteryear that she so often references in her content.
Nightmare.
I would just freak out. Mm-hmm. And she does freak out. Natalie is, quite honestly, the most unpleasant, awful character I've ever read a point of view from. I didn't actually dislike that, though. I did dislike her. I was like, girl, you are really losing me here. She is mean. She thinks that she is superior to everybody. She's smarter than everybody. She gets into like Harvard and
like it's hard?
And she is like, I'm smarter than everybody. Also, I guess light spoilers. I'm not going to spoil the end. Like just some light plot points throughout the book, so not anything too crazy. But she thinks everyone's stupid except for her. And because we're getting everything from her eyes, I don't think we ever get a point of view from anybody else. You're really kind of, she just hates everybody. You see what she thinks, what the thoughts that go through her head. She hates everybody. She's mean to everybody, including her family members. We see that she's also always been this way. It's not like suddenly she went to school and became this way. She's always been that way. So she doesn't have that many friends as a result, if you can imagine that. So she was raised in an unspecified Christian religion by a single mom, and she's got a sister. And she is still very religious. Even when her family is no longer religious, she is still staunchly religious. We don't get a specific Christian sect that she is from. I think that's okay, because I think it's just like, it could happen in any Christian religion. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter which one it comes from. But I think some people did have issues with that. It didn't bother me too much. I did think it was weird at first, but then I was like, I mean, whatever, it could happen anywhere, I guess. When she gets to college, she marries the first man that she lays eyes on, basically, and then gets engaged after like a month or 2. His family is very wealthy. His father is a politician. And Natalie is very smart. She is very smart, and she learns that she needs to be cunning and manipulative in order to keep up with her man's dad, because he has all the money and he is kind of, trying to dictate her man Caleb's life. Caleb has no drive to do anything at all. to work, and she's very embarrassed by that. So she has to make a deal with his dad, and they buy this farm with his money. She calls it Yesteryear. And so she's like, oh, it's actually really expensive to keep a farm running. So she starts an Instagram trying to, bring popularity to the farm, and she does actually become successful. She hires nannies and a producer to help her with the kids and the content. The kids are homeschooled. The kids are actually homeschooled by Caleb, I think.
Oh.
And Caleb, her husband, he's a manosphere guy. He is like online. No. He is watching, I don't know, Joe Rogan or something. And like he is online in the manosphere chats. And then he's teaching their children.
Oh no.
And he's a dummy. Caleb pretends to work in like they take pictures of him working around the farm, but he doesn't actually do any work on the farm. They have people they've hired to work on the farm. Natalie doesn't even bake. She buys bread from local bread shops and passes it off as her own.
Colleen would never.
She literally cannot bake bread, which is fine. I can't bake bread either.
Neither can I.
That she can bake bread. She interacts with her children only when they're filming content. She obsessively is reading her comment sections, and she hates everyone in them. Anyway, something then happens that propels her into 1855, or she wakes up in the past, So, without spoiling any of the rest of the book, I would say this was like 3 out of 5 stars. I did not think the ending was predictable. I was reading this book and I was like, what the hell is going to be the twist of this book? It's going on, and what's the twist? But I have spoken to a couple other people who did predict what was going to happen, which I was like, there are clues, but I just wasn't even, I was just like, oh my God, this was a page turner for sure. I would say that it was, it's a page turner. It wasn't predictable to me. But I still didn't really think the twist, I think the twist could have been more predictable and it would have been better, than the twist that actually did happen. I was like, girl, what's going on here? And it's also interesting to me that the author seems to really dislike her main character. And I feel like whenever you hear someone talking about writing or acting, like you can't hate the character that you're playing or the character that you're writing. You need to have some sympathy somewhere for them so that you can write from their point of view in like an accurate way. And it feels really like Burke hates the main character, which I did think was kind of like fun, I guess. But I also felt like because we're only getting her point of view, the character's point of view, I almost felt like she was let off the hook for some of her behavior. She does promote her father-in-law's MAGA politics and raw milk and sexism and everything else that comes with being a trad wife. And I thought it was going to be more, we'll get into it in a little bit, but I just thought it was going to be a little bit more against the trad wife, but it wasn't really. But anyway, that was the first one that I read. Yeah, that was the first one I read.
The second book is called Everyone is Lying to You by Joe Piazza. This is almost like an airport book. It's a murder mystery that takes place at a Tradwife influencer conference. Yeah. There are 2 main POVs. One of our main character, Lizzie, who is a reporter with 2 kids and a regular nice husband. She was best friends with a woman, Rebecca, in college, but they had a falling out, and now Rebecca is the #1 Tradwife influencer on Instagram. One day, Rebecca DMs her and asks if she will come to this Tradwife conference and meet with her for an exclusive interview for Lizzie's magazine. Lizzie's like, okay girl, sounds good. And so she does. Something seems really off with Rebecca, but they also come back together as friends somewhat easily. It seems like Rebecca, who Lizzie calls Bex, has some big news to share, but wants to wait till their official interview to share it. The next morning, the news breaks that Rebecca's husband has been killed on their farm. He was about to run for office and everything. Rebecca is nowhere to be found, and neither are her kids. From here, Lizzie is trying to find Rebecca and get to the bottom of the murder. She believes Bex left her clues and knew this was going to happen.
I thought this book was interesting because it really, this was the total 180 from Yesteryear. I felt like this author wanted us to feel sorry for Rebecca. like everything about her life was so tragic, and it was interesting to me. It was really just like, she did make some decisions, obviously, to get here. But we don't hold her accountable for anything. She is like let off the hook for every single thing. Her life is tragic. We cannot be against her. And I think it's interesting because obviously like we can feel like, Hannah Nealman is in a really bad situation, and maybe, something's happening there. And we can also feel like she's perpetuating something really harmful, and she's harming her kids, and her husband is probably, he seems like, I don't want to make any allegations, but her husband seems like a piece of shit. So, we can feel like Hannah Nealman is in a bad situation, and also like she is doing things that are harming other people, like selling raw milk and perpetuating horrible ideas. Yep. But this book was like, you can't have both. There's not going to be any nuance. We just have to feel bad for her. And I was kind of like, what? It was weird. It was like totally weird. And I was like, okay, this is strange. So while the influencer Tradwives are the basis for both of these books, they are super different from each other. And just to prove that this is a trend, and these aren't just the only 2 books that have come out, some other Tradwife books that have come out in the last year, we've got The Tradwife Secret by Leanne Child, Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer, which I kind of want to read, actually.
Oh my God.
Her Beautiful Life. No, that one's about a demon pregnancy. I don't know.
Jeez, okay.
Her Beautiful Life by Brianna Labuskis. Sorry if I said that wrong. Tradwife by Sarah Langan, which comes out this September. So those are just a couple. But that's a lot of books, and some of them have the same name. There are some books, I think there are 2 books that have come out recently. I couldn't find the other one, just called Tradwife. And it's like, oh wait, maybe that is Tradwife by Sarah Langan and Tradwife by Saratoga Schaefer. So, the books are coming out. So I do think it's, fascinating that Yesteryear, well, maybe I just assumed this of the book before I read it too, but it seemed to be an indictment of the Tradwife, or it was trying to be that. While Everyone Is Lying to You is more about what the interpersonal relationships might look like on the other side of the camera for the Tradwife. And, is trying to get us to have a more sympathetic view of what a Tradwife, quote unquote Tradwife, may be going through. But I also don't feel like either book was as searing as it could have been, of Tradwives in general, or of just the general belief system that holds up this idea. In even Yesteryear, where Natalie is portrayed to be a vicious person, I think this book was really more, and maybe this is what the author was going for, I don't know the author's intentions, but I feel like this book was more of a conservative / religious female rage book, as opposed to a critique of Tradwives at large or the belief system at large. Natalie is so angry the whole time. She hates everyone. She especially hates other women who have chosen other paths than her. She's very vengeful and spiteful and bitter, and possibly even hating them because they've been able to grow in ways that she personally never did, even when she was given the opportunity to, because she always felt like the victim and made herself feel like she's a victim, which I think is an accurate portrayal of what it could look like for, or what it does probably look like for some white women to grow up deeply Christian and then not grow out of it or learn beyond it. Even when other people around her and her family has moved past it, she's holding on to this idea of persecution or something. And maybe the author didn't intend to write something that makes Tradwives as a whole look a certain way, since this really just felt more of a character study than something with a broader message. I don't feel like the message of this was necessarily applicable. I think it could possibly be about kids that are involved in influencer empires right now. We've got Ruby Frankie's daughter, her oldest daughter, just wrote that book a year or 2 ago about being on camera her whole childhood and her mom, her abusive parents. So it could be, I think if anything, the message is more about like what could happen to the kids, even though the book isn't really about the kids. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know. And then everybody is lying to you. Just made me feel bad for the Tradwife character. As I said before, we don't even get to hear about like any of Rebecca's content or what she does for work or her views about anything. We only really learn about her from the perspective of Lizzie, who was her friend, her best friend in college. And so we are getting her like friendship perspective and not like, it was almost like the Tradwife idea, the influencer plot was solely a device to make sure that the character was famous so that when her husband is killed, it's a really big deal. Her husband sucks. He's abusive and she's got a bunch of kids. And so, and she doesn't have any friends because he's sort of isolated her. So that's why she reaches out to Lizzie for help. But yeah, I feel like the Tradwife thing was she really just needed it as like background for things to happen in instead of, we don't really learn anything about what Tradwife even means to this person. Like, we really don't. She doesn't even seem to have the views that kind of come along with being a Trad. Like, she doesn't seem to have any of these views.
So this could have just been a murder mystery book.
This could have just been a murder mystery book. I think she just wanted the backdrop. It could have just been at an influencer like not even like a Tradwife. It could have just been an influencer conference.
Might as well capitalize on something that's trending.
Yeah, I think that's really what it was. And really,
once
Rebecca,
again, capitalism prevails.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting too because what was her name in the last book that I fucking read? Natalie. Natalie is she is trying to make herself feel like the victim, even though she is doing harmful, like lots and lots of harmful things to people directly around her. Not even like she is doing harm on the internet, but she's also directly harming people around her. Whereas Rebecca is portrayed as solely a victim. Like, she hasn't made any decisions. She's been trapped her whole life. And that is what is. And so it's interesting to me. Like, there's such a difference between these characters. And I think that Piazza is really trying to get us to be like, isn't this so sad? I'm like, you could have just made her an influencer. This Tradwife thing is hardly, like, I guess she wanted it to take place at a farm. Okay, they could just live on a farm. It doesn't have to be Tradwife. We don't even really get the story of how she fell into this brand. I think it's like a page, or not a page. It's like a 2-sentence thing where she's like, I like to bake and I started an Instagram and now I'm a Tradwife. And it's like, well, what?
All right.
I don't understand that. So this isn't, I would not necessarily say that it's a Tradwife book. There's obviously a power differential relationship with a rich man and a broke lady at the beginning, which becomes abusive, even though Yesteryear, her relationship's not abusive. It just sucks. It just sucks. I'm like, God, this relationship sucks. It's so bad. But anyway, so that is, those kinds of things are things that don't necessarily belong to the Tradwife narrative alone. Like, it's unfortunately something that happens all the time in real life and in books, and it doesn't have to have this background. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then one other book note that I had before we do some broader connective tissue situation is I did also think it was kind of funny that both books had the husbands ultimately running for office, because that's what in Yesteryear, she wants Caleb to run for office. In this book, Rebecca's husband is, I think, actively running for office. And that obviously is not happening right now. We don't have any Tradwife husbands that are elected officials. But
I mean, the Duggars had a lot of men running for politicians. Yeah.
Are they? Oh, well,
they're not anymore, but like, they were like ahead of their time. They were ahead.
They were ahead of their time.
But they were all running for office.
But like, Hannah Nealman's JetBlue husband isn't running for office.
He's not doing shit.
Yeah, he's whatever, pretending to work. I don't know. So I just thought that was kind of funny that basically in Yesteryear, Caleb's family is like the Kennedys. Like, his family is like a political dynasty, like the Kennedys. And I just was like, that's really interesting I just thought it was interesting. I don't really guess have anything to say about that. I guess it could happen. I guess, I don't even know Hannah Nealman's husband's name. Mr. Nealman could run for office. But, I hope he doesn't. Utah's already going through a lot, so hope they don't get that man. Do you know anything about Hannah Nealman?
Not really.
There was an interview with them, 2 years ago, where the interviewer was asking her questions and her husband kept interrupting and being like, I don't want her to answer that question.
Okay.
So, we just want to try and connect this Tradwife trend to some other things occurring on social media. Let's complicate our social media landscape, people. To use a women's studies word, we're going to complicate this.
Okay.
So, some things that I've kind of been noticing, that I've been seeing, are, obviously girl math and girl dinner. Those aren't new. Those are a couple years old at this point. Girl math, girl dinner, soft girl, divine femininity, feminine energy, stay-at-home girlfriend, just to give some examples, relationship advice videos. We're going to talk about those. We have some feelings about relationship advice videos. So I guess, Cassie, what do you remember about girl math?
Girl math. Was that
during Barbie? Was it like when Barbie came out?
Probably around that time.
Barbie was amazing and simultaneously, I was also here. I'm still, honestly.
I still am too. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it, except for what we're about to talk about. Yeah, both of us, we do love to shop. We love to shop till we drop. You more than me.
Yeah.
And I'm reading your notes, and you say you're not great with money. I think I'm pretty good with money. So I think this mostly relates to you.
Yes, it does.
But I did buy something from my Venmo account the other day, and I said that was free. So,
that's true.
That kind of stuff. I love to do that.
I love getting a refund and then being like, I just made some money.
Yeah, yeah, just like that.
I got that back. I made that money. Yeah, I'm not that great with money. I think I used to be more okay with money, but it was just sometimes you get a job that pays you the worst amount of money for a really long time, and then you suddenly are very bad with money, and then you have to crawl your way out of being bad with money. So that's something that I'm working on. And I use girl math to be okay with buying things. Okay, I'm a sucker for clothes. Okay,
I love clothes.
However, as an overarching concept, girl math, it's maybe, something that shouldn't have been pushed online so hard. I think a lot of people struggle to manage money or even to have it in the first place, obviously. So promoting a trend in which women and girls are not encouraged to save money or are not really taught how to best use their money in favor of buying lots of material goods, that's just harmful in a very material kind of way. You're like, tee, girl math, I'm going to spend money that I don't have on something that I don't need.
It's giving Carrie Bradshaw Sex in the City. She would rather buy a $400 pair of shoes than pay her rent on time.
Okay, well, I would never do that.
Yeah. So
that's crazy. As
a trend, yeah, treat yourself, girls. Whenever you're feeling a little down, go buy yourself a little coffee. Go get yourself thrift. Go thrift something. Don't buy yourself something.
See, that's what I am thrifting. That is something I don't, highly recommend.
Well, also make sure that you open a high yield savings account.
Yeah.
And you put a good amount of money in there every month.
Save money if you can.
Do it at the same time. And it's totally cool if you do both. But make sure you're saving your money.
Yeah.
In a high yield savings account.
And the second trend is girl dinner, which I think I had problems with from the start. This was not a girl math moment for me. I was like, what are we doing? At first, I thought, it was whatever, because obviously, when you are taking care of yourself and you are making dinner for yourself, you're making meals for yourself, your meals are going to look different than they do when you move in with a partner. And, people are like, well, boys want a protein and a carb and a whatever. And I'm like, well, it is good to have a protein and a carb.
Yeah, I'm like, girl, I want a protein and a carb.
That is a well-rounded dinner. And just eating, whatever, a slice of bread with American cheese on it isn't really dinner. Why are we promoting eating disorders? Let's go eat some real food. Let's go make ourselves a real meal. Let's do that. Now, I am a charcuterie board person. If
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, girl dinner to me is a platter of things that do not go together, but I'm eating enough of it to where it's a meal.
I mean, if you're eating something that's weird, good, yeah. But like, if you're just like, I ate a cube of cheese, like, okay, you're just Emily Blunt from Devil Wears Prada. I'm not proud of you for doing that. Like, if that's all you have, that's one thing. But if it's just like, girl dinner, one cube of cheese.
My version of girl dinner is what I like to call slop. It'll be like a base of like rice or like potato or something,
like some a kind of protein bowl or something.
Yeah, like something probably usually like I buy cans of refried beans because then they're like already cooked. All you have to do is microwave them, slop that on there. I pour in some like frozen like peas or something.
You actually are describing slop.
I microwave it.
That is slop.
I put cottage cheese on top and hot sauce, and I just mix it, and it is
the texture of that would fuck me up.
And it's so good. And you're getting your protein, you're getting your veggies, you're getting your carbs, you're getting your fats, and it takes 5 minutes, and it's so good. So that's my girl dinner. My girl dinner is slop.
My girl dinner is when Thomas is away and I have the energy to make this for myself because Thomas doesn't like it. I'll make myself cumin lamb noodles. And that is basically my, like, when Thomas isn't here, that's what I'll make for myself. So,
lamb?
Yeah.
Where is this, like, are you buying, like, lamb legs or whatever they're called? Lollipops?
No. Oh my God. No. I go to the Asian market down the street. They have thin sliced lamb for like $5.
No, you was eating lamb like that.
I don't. That's why it's my girl dinner. That's when Thomas isn't here, which is like twice a year. So like I don't make it that much.
Oh, okay.
And then you like season it up, and then it's like spicy. You put your chili crisp in there. You put some vegetables in there, some cilantro, your noodle of choice, some kimchi.
That sounds absolutely gorgeous.
It's very delicious. So that's really what I
do that with tofu.
That's what I really. Yeah, I mean you could do it with anything. It's just the cumin is the big thing that makes it taste a little bit different than other noodles. But or only a tuna melt, I guess. If it's like the middle of the week and I'm like, I need something and we didn't get something, so this is what I'm eating. But
moral of the story is we're having protein. We're eating our protein. We're getting our gains. We're getting our
your brain runs on glucose.
Yes.
To quote Ryan Gosling, you need to eat some food.
All right.
Next trend. Soft girl / feminine energy / divine femininity. And the like, my man lets me be a soft girl. My man makes X amount of money. And I can be a soft girl. My man isn't a loser and makes enough so that I can live my soft life. Whatever. I know y'all have seen those. I'm seeing them. And I feel like I've curated my feed to be not this. But I still get that. And I've just had it up to here, you guys, with this damn. I'm in my divine femininity, so I let my husband do everything for me. Like, what the hell are you talking about? Stand up, okay? Like, what are you talking? It makes me so mad. Obviously, in this cruel and terrible world, it's good to be soft and to feel and let yourself have deep emotions. But that's not what they mean by soft girl. They don't mean like be a softie and have your feelings. It's about not having to work and letting your guy do all the heavy lifting and money making so you can be home and cook and, be like acting like it's not 2026 or whatever. Like, oh my God. Cassie, do you have thoughts about this situation?
Yes, I have thoughts about this. Because like if that is your life, like if you are in a relationship where your man is the breadwinner and you do just like do little things on the side or you do stay home, that's great. If that's what you want to do, love that for you, do it. But don't see like, oh, this makes me more feminine. This makes me a better woman because I'm doing it this way. It's just with all of these freaking trends, I feel like people just think about things so hard. They're thinking too hard. I'm like, you're thinking too much into it. They're like, well, I'm a better woman because I do X, Y, Z. And it's like, what?
That doesn't make any sense.
And it's like, just because you work a 9 to 5 and rotate cooking dinner with your man does not make you any less feminine, does not make you any less of a woman. No. Like, my God. It's like I mostly cook for my man, but but then he bakes for me in return, like, because he loves to bake and I love to cook. That doesn't make him feminine for doing that. That doesn't make him less of a man. That doesn't make me less of a woman. It's just what we like to do. We like to do it for each other. We both have jobs. We both make money. And that's just how it is. And if he did it, like if we made like the same amount of money, I wouldn't go to him and say, you're less of a man because you're making the same amount of money as me. You need to make triple. That's rude. That's just not nice.
Also, in this economy, trying to make more money is like, so like, if you're making money, if you have a job where you can pay your bills in the first place, that's good.
That's great. That's
that
fabulous.
Should be what we want. That's like the baseline, but that's what we're all hoping for at this point. I would even say, listen, if you are someone if you're a stay-at-home girlfriend, it's not like if you are not taking care of children and you are a stay-at-home girlfriend because your boyfriend is rich, I hope that you have your own money, is all I'm going to say. I don't believe in the joint bank account only situation. I think when you get married, if you want to have a joint bank account where you both put money into high-yield savings accounts, but still have your own checking accounts, you cannot put all of your eggs in one bag. You cannot be like, all of my money is in a joint savings account. I had a professor whose husband one time, he was horrible. And when he cheated on her or something, I don't remember. And he took all the money out of their joint savings account. And that's where all of her money was. And he left. And she didn't have any money. So, you don't want that to happen to you. And I don't think it's cute for you to get online and say, teehee, I don't have to work because my man makes $100K or whatever. Also, $100K is really not enough for you to quit your job. But
yeah.
I just think, we need to use some critical thinking and think about our futures and ourselves and our safety. And you might think one thing now and then something, God forbid, something might happen and you might be like, oh, well, now I'm in this fucking situation that I can't get out of. So have your own money, make your own money. It doesn't make you any less of anything to make money. Okay.
Yes.
We live in a capitalistic, evil society that makes us work. If you can work less and still make money, that's great. I would love to work less.
I would love I feel like part-time job is like my dream life.
Oh my God, I would be living my best life if I could work part-time. But yeah, I can't, and I'm not.
Not in this day and age. It's just not
in this day and age. It's literally not possible. And this is sort of slightly different, but same with that. If I was good in the blue store, so now he'll take me to the pink store.
Oh, like he wanted to go to Bass Pro, so now he's
I behaved at Home Depot or whatever, and so now we can go to Sephora or something. Like he'll let me go to Sephora.
First of all, I'll tear up a Home Depot.
I'm gonna act up in Bass Pro.
My man, he loves Home Depot because he's renovating, and I love to go with him because, well, I like to hang out. And then
you get the paint cards.
I like to get the paint cards.
Go to the lighting section.
I love the lighting section. Like, I was walking around and I was just like, I keep him entertained. I'm like, I'll point to something random. I'm like, that what you need? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, how about that? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, sick, yeah. Like, it's fun. I don't know. It maybe just have fun with your partner. I don't know. And like, if I took him to Sephora, like a pink store. I don't know what pink store I would take him to. I don't even know. He would do the same thing. He would entertain me, and we'd have fun because just everyone calm down with the gender roles. My God. Do you want to know something crazy?
Yeah.
So I can't stand. I'm like sick of obviously sick of gender roles. Obviously, I'm sick of things being deemed masculine or feminine. Like, because how we're raised, it's like when boys do anything feminine, it's seen as automatically bad. And it's like, okay, maybe he just likes to play house. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. But I was in yoga the other day, as I tend to be, and it was an early morning class, and I was just stretching before class, and there was like two 40-year-old men next to me, and they were just talking, so of course I was listening.
Of course, obviously. As you should.
And the guy was like, yeah, thanks for coming to class with me, man. He's like, he was like, once you get past the femininity of it, it's actually a good workout. And I literally was just like, I can't wait to wipe the floor with you during this class. And you know what? I did. Thank you. Like,
that's so stupid.
What? You are going to potentially miss out on a really great workout
because you think it's for girls.
Because you think it's for girls. That it makes you stronger, it makes you flexible, it extends your life, it makes you connect with yourself, and you're genuinely gonna be like, oh, but like it's so feminine though.
Oh my God.
Actually,
it's really not.
It's not. And it's also for like about 500 years, women were not allowed to practice yoga.
Yeah.
So up until like 1930. So let's think about it.
Yeah.
It's only become a trend now because women feel safer in like workout studios versus like the gym, or, you know, they feel better in community classes. So now they flock to the yoga studios, the Pilates studios. And so now they are women's spaces, but only because that's where we feel the best. That's where we have the most community. So yeah, it may be a female-dominated space, but it does not make it a feminine sport in any way.
It's dumb. Well, that's how like people think about ballet.
That pissed me off.
And ballet is
that's
like, so
and I'm like,
hard.
I'm like, watch a man in a ballet class. If we want to do feminine and masculine, that is the most masculine thing. Like, they are so strong. Yeah. They are so muscular. And it's like, just because there's art involved.
There's one of
like,
them, and they have to pick everybody up.
They have to pick everybody up. Like, what do you mean? That is so masculine. And it's like, yeah, but people just are like, oh, they're probably gay. It's like, no, that's not true at all. Yeah. Like, just stop it. Stop
and if they are, who cares?
That's totally chill.
If they identify as a man, that's how they want it. That's how they feel, and they are in a ballet class. They're still a man. Come on, guys. What are we talking about?
Yeah, it really is so...
Toxic masculinity is a curse.
It really is.
This is why y'all are lonely.
Missing out on so... Yeah, and it's like you're missing out on so many wonderful things. Yeah. Like, my boyfriend had never been to a ballet before I took him to two, and he was like, wow, like, that was so amazing. And I'm like, right? Like, guys just don't get to... Like, straight guys just don't really get to experience these things because they're told not to. Yeah. But then when they do, they're like, wait, this shit's actually pretty cool. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's fabulous.
I saw this video yesterday of these girls. I guess they had asked this boy on the beach to like film them like running and like giggling or whatever, and he was like running and like filming them, and he was like giggling also, and people were like, oh my gosh, she gets to experience girlhood for the first time or whatever. And I'm like, y'all are sad,
running and giggling on the beach. You guys like, don't do that.
Y'all don't have, what are you doing with your friends? Y'all aren't saying like I'm so confused. Every time I leave my friend, I'm like, okay, bye, I love you. Like, y'all aren't saying I love you. Y'all aren't giggling and tee-heeing and whatever. Like, that's silly. I know that's a generalization. Yeah, so not silly. All men are doing that.
It is a generalization. Yep. But my boyfriend loves to giggle with his friends.
Yeah, but like, you know what? If you're missing out if you're not doing that.
Just go giggle with your friends.
Just go
okay?
Giggle,
and then get back to me about this.
Literally, this is ridiculous. Our last little bit is just relationship advice. Those relationship advice videos, this might be a little spicy of a topic, so I'm just gonna say it, okay, guys? And y'all are allowed to disagree with me, and that's totally fine. But those videos where people are like, my husband does every single possible thing for me, like everything, not like I am not doing anything. Like, he's thinking about all of my needs 10 steps ahead of me, and he does literally everything for me, and he's thinking about me all day, every day, and like plotting new things for me to do. And if your partner doesn't do that, then they hate you and they're lazy, and you should probably break up. Do you get those, Cassie?
Yes, especially when I was single, I got a lot of those, and I was just like, well, this seems like a lot.
I know.
And like, not me like standing up for the men, because, you know, but like, what? But like, who wants to spend their life catering to the every whim of somebody else?
I know. That's what I was like. I was like, am I just too much of like an independent person that hates to communicate about my needs? And like, is it like a me problem where I'm like, I don't like these videos because I don't like the thought of someone doing all this for me because that's not how my brain works? Or like, part of it feels almost like part of the infantilization of women, where it's like, she cannot do anything for herself, and if she has to do something for herself, then it's because her partner / boyfriend / husband hates her.
Yeah, it's like, once again, it's like a huge dichotomy that everyone's thinking way too hard about. It's like, at the end of the day, if you have a man who your values align, your goals align, what you want from life, you're contributing equal some days. Sometimes it's more.
Sometimes it is more. Sometimes it's more,
depending on the days.
50, yeah.
You laugh, you grow, you learn together,
you love each other, they
good.
make you feel like, yes, they should, of course they should make you feel loved and they should do things for you. I'm not at all saying,
but it's also not a one-way street, it's a two-way street.
That's how I always am getting those videos and I'm like, is your boyfriend just thinking about you all day long, and then you just do all the things that you want to do and he's just doing all the things to cater to you all day? Is that what you're saying our relationship should be?
Yeah,
because then
that's not
really a relationship.
Because then if we reverse it, that's be horrible.
Just regular. That's just sexism. If you reverse
that's just sexism. So it's like there's got to be a balance, and at the end of the day, if you guys are both contributing and happy, and you make each other happy, and you think about each other, then you're probably good.
Yeah,
and
y'all
and you don't have to rely on these very intense relationship advice videos.
Yeah, it's so, I think that all this for me just kind of boils down to infantilizing women on the internet, women who are grown people. Listen, the girliness of things is fun, okay? I like to be whatever, I'm just a girl. Is that ultimately, as a broader trend, harmful? Yeah. It is harmful. Women shouldn't be infantilized. We've got pedophiles everywhere. Girls are not safe. Little girls. Okay? It is dangerous to use infantilizing language for women as a whole, because then ultimately they're I listened to this. I didn't listen. I read the transcript of a podcast yesterday because it was about Tradwives, and I was preparing for this, and I was like, let me read this transcript. I wasn't going to listen to it because it's some New York Times Ross Douthat or whatever his name is, and he's a conservative and I hate him, so I was like, I'm not gonna listen to this podcast, but I'll read the transcript. This woman on this podcast said that the sexual revolution, whatever, porn revolution, there are some problems with that for sure, but she was ultimately making premarital sex more mainstream is harmful to women. And if it were my society that I created, I would make contraceptives not be available to women who are not married, because I wouldn't want to promote people having sex before marriage. Which originally birth control was for married people to space out births in the relationship. I was just I cannot believe. And that to me is infantilizing women, because it's women cannot make decisions. Yes, is it ultimately, are there more harms that can be done to a woman in a society that is still sexist, but is also I guess sexually liberated, even though I wouldn't necessarily say that would describe our culture, but where premarital sex is more common? Are there more harms that could be available to be done to women? Yeah, for sure. Women can, or people with uteruses can get pregnant. Violence is more common against women from a male partner. Of course. And also saying that we should live in a society where that's not allowed, that's to me, it's infantilizing women. I don't know. I'm she's well, they can't make these decisions. And I think that we should be able to make decisions for women as a whole, people with uteruses as a whole, about birth control and all this stuff, because women can't make those decisions for themselves. It's all about infantilizing women to I don't even know, manipulate us. I don't know what.
I mean, it's these trends coupled with what you just said, the end goal, infantilizing women, and then we have these manosphere podcasters who are using those kinds of trends as evidence for women being immature, not smart, and babies. And they are using that, and they're saying, see, this trend proves that women can't do anything by themselves. We need to take care of them, and we need to subjugate them. And it's let's ladies, message for the ladies.
Yeah.
You can love your man down. I do too. Yeah. While also maintaining independence, maintaining friendships, maintaining
yes, don't drop your friends just because you're in a relationship.
Don't drop your friends, don't drop your hobbies.
This is not, I know we're talking about a lot of men women pairings, straight relationships, but this is for anybody. Don't let yourself be infantilized. Don't let yourself Don't disconnect from your friends. I'm not talking about an abusive relationship. I'm talking about in any relationship that you're in, a romantic relationship. Don't let that romantic relationship get in front of your friends and your relationship with your friends, because you need that. You need your community, because your romantic partner could leave and you want to have support if that were to happen, and you want to be able to support your friends if that happens to them or if anything else happens to them. You need your community of people. And if you want to learn more about the manosphere, y'all should watch the Louis Theroux documentary.
I just couldn't even get myself to watch it.
I watched it. I was like, literally, like, obviously I've seen manosphere stuff. I've listened to podcast episodes about the manosphere and whatever. But watching all of these young men say this crazy shit, you're like, oh my God.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Are y'all okay? Like, obviously not, but like,
No.
it is scary. It is scary for sure. It's like, oh my God, this is very spooky. Anywho, it's the last couple days of Pride Month, people. So go be gay. Go.
Girl, I'm going to a Pride event later today. I'm so excited. Because you know what? It's going to be so fun.
Yeah, exactly. Go.
It's going to be so fun.
Celebrate
I'm going to put on a
yourselves.
cute outfit, hang out with my girlies and my gays, and just have a fabulous day. And I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for you. I haven't been to any Pride events this month.
Wow.
I should be get a slap on the wrist from the community. Sorry, everybody. I just sit in my house a lot. Anyway. Anywho, to conclude, happy Pride Month. It's going to be July when this episode comes out, but I hope you all had an amazing Pride Month.
Absolutely amazing, babes.
There is so much sneaky propaganda online trying to inch women into the trad life, trying to inch everybody into the trad life. So all I want to say now is go get pierced, go get a tattoo, go dye your hair, go put on your sluttiest, gothest, witchiest, gayest outfit. I think I said gay twice. Super gay.
Do it.
Adopt a cat. Drop the trends. Eat a big, delicious meal. And just remember that you want to be the kind of person that makes those trad people, those conservatives, mad. You want to live a life that makes them go, I hate that person. We're not going to be clean girls. But we are gonna clean girl. I mean, in the trend way. We are going to take showers, guys. But
yes, everyone take their showers.
We're not.
Do your skincare.
We're going to be, those Glossier, Pantone white, aesthetic people. So go do something that would make Mitch McConnell mad. And
yeah, think of Mitch McConnell.
So make them seethe with anger. Go be gay. Go be a slut. Go outside. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Well, and I'll add, and those are all great, and I will be doing those later today. But also, if you want, if it is your dream to get married and have a family,
that's
do
fine.
it.
Also,
do it, but do it on your own terms.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone tell you that you're doing it wrong or that you're waiting too long. Do it on your terms. Do what makes you happy. Live your life. Open a high yield savings account.
Open a high yield savings account.
That's it for
There
Cassie.
we go. Okay.
Thanks for listening to this Amelia Tells Me, Cassie, episode. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at A Book for My Sister podcast. Our next episode will be a little throwback to the decades of yore. What? Is that a word? Yeah. The decades of yore? Okay. AKA the 70s, all right? So make sure to subscribe and check back in for our next episode. Keep on yapping and reading. Until then,
Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Iconic.